Labour's homelessness minister, Rushanari, just evicted 4 tenants from a London townhouse and jacked the rent up by £700.
The UK's homelessness minister has come under fire after she tricked tenants from leaving a property that she owned by saying she was selling it, only to then relist it for £700 more expensive rent than it was before.
This is an absolute clown show.
If you want proof that the government don't give a shit about British citizens, listen to this.
I hate having Indian neighbors.
You just pushed in again? Are you joking? Mate, there's a line.
I'm line पे जा रहे हैं.
Well, you can go behind me.
I am going.
We'll go then.
I am going.
Go then.
He is going for inquiry.
Well, no.
He's asking and he's back.
No, because you can end up in front. Mate, you can go behind me. I'm not joking.
I am just for inquiry.
Well, I'm going to do an inquiry too then. Move behind me. I'm inquiring if I can buy this ticket. Move. My God, honestly.
TikTok. I must be the first person in the country to get evicted by his landlord because he wants to house the fucking hotel people. Literally got a text last night saying you got a month's notice, maximum 2, want you to move out, we're redecorating and we're not renting the property back out to you pretty much. I don't know where I stand with that or how it fucking goes down or what the fucking crack is, but that's a text I received last night. He wants me out. Why? There we go. What do we do, guys? What do we do? Do you know what I mean? But also, next door, he owns a house next door. You've got the Romanian family living there. They're getting kicked out as well. So that's what I'm trying to say, guys. Look what Keir Starmer's done now. All his hard-working people are getting kicked out now. We've got nowhere to live. He wants to house them. So people next door, Romanians, came over here about 15 years ago. Been non-stop working flat out. They've been given a 1 month's notice to fucking move out. Same as myself. There we go. Thank you, Keir Starmer. Wanker.
I don't choose to let my children live like this. And after the old story of the little boy that lost his life due to living in the same conditions, I am petrified. I'm in and out of bed all night, checking on my children's breathing, making sure that they're warm. I change their beddings in the morning. By the time night time comes, everything is wet to touch again.
আমি সবটা খাই, আমি সবকিছু খাই, আমি আমার বাঙালি cuisine.
Right. Well, I've just been reading about these bloody awful landlords again, and I tell you what, it makes my blood boil. It really does. 80 years I've been on this earth, and I've never seen anything quite so disgraceful in all my days. These so-called property owners, and I use that term very loosely, they're nothing more than vultures, preying on decent folk who just need a roof over their heads. Students packed into damp bedsits like sardines, elderly pensioners living with mould creeping up the walls, working families paying through the nose for what can only be described as slums. In my day, there was such a thing as pride in property, respect for tenants. But now, these parasites are charging London prices for conditions you wouldn't keep a dog in. Broken heating in winter, leaking roofs, electrics that haven't been touched since the Blitz. And the worst part? They're getting away with it because people are desperate.
Painted all over it. I cannot believe that people were living in this property. Now, as you can see, the roof has started caving in because the mould and damp is so severe. This landlord sounds absolutely bloody atrocious. Now, I'm genuinely shocked that these estate agents have uploaded it in this state. Now, as you can see, the wallpaper's falling off. There's mould and damp all over the wall. Now, the structural damage of this place is probably pretty bad. No wonder it's going for just £60,000. But as you can see, they've painted over it black again. Basically, in every single room, they've painted over the mould. Surely that is just the worst thing to do. Now, as you can see, the ceiling's falling apart. And it looks like these people have only been living in the rooms where the mould isn't actually as prevalent. As you can see, this room, there's some mould still coming through there. No wonder they bloody painted over it. As you manoeuvre through the property, it gets worse and worse. Look at the state of this bathroom, people. How are people living in this property? It's actually so sad. But honestly, all you need to do is look at the outside of the property to see what bloody state it's in. Now, £60,000, obviously a lot of people are going to say that was very cheap, but you're probably going to need at least another minimum £60,000 to do anything to this property. Now, let me know what you think. Is it worth the money? What do you think about the landlord? Let me know what you think.
If you want proof that the government don't give a shit about British citizens, listen to this. A landlord with principles has just turned down a 7-year government contract to rent out his house to illegal immigrants. Terry Batts said he wouldn't give up his house to illegal immigrants for 3 times what the government offered him. He said when he asked who'd be occupying the house, they were very vague. When he pressed, they admitted they were looking for nice houses for illegal immigrants. They'd pay the going rate, plus day-to-day maintenance, plus council tax, repairs, and all the bills. Terry turned it down, saying he'd rather leave it empty than have illegal immigrants living in luxury in it. So why is it that the government can do this for illegal immigrants, but they can't do it for British citizens struggling? We have over 300,000 British citizens homeless. We have veterans living on the street, people who fought for this country. Yet the government show with their actions they just don't give a shit about us. Thousands and thousands upon thousands of illegal immigrants are crossing the channel, and the government are bending over backwards to rent private houses, luxury houses, to house these illegal immigrants. When is this madness going to stop? This video will guarantee I get called a racist, a xenophobe, and whatever else. And to be honest, I don't give a shit. This is wrong what the government are doing. And to be fair, I don't blame these illegal immigrants. If they can get away with it, why not? It's our government that's at fault.
If your landlord increases your rent, do this. Landlord, what the hell is this? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, your rent's going up next month from 2 grand to 2.5 grand a month. Wait, you can't increase my rent. You've already increased it once this year. So under UK tenancy laws, landlords can't increase the rent more than once per year without the consent of the tenant. Fine then, your rent is going to be going up £500 a month next year. You also can't do that because that counts as unfair and unrealistic rental increase. What? You can't put up the rent way more than the local average rental price, which is only £1,600 a month. Fine, it'll only go up £100 a month next year. Who told you all this? I follow NDA for money-saving rental tips just like this.
Rent prices are spiralling. I know friends who have struggled, literally they've lost flats because the landlord's gone, I want an extra 200 quid from you for the next year, and they've gone, well, obviously I can't afford to pay that. Then they get trapped in the absolute hellish process of trying to rent a property where they're asked to pay deposits on flats that they haven't seen. If they go and look at them and don't like them, that grand that they've given to the landlord secure viewing, they've lost that. You're literally there like refreshing on Rightmove and Zoopla looking at homes and waiting for 9am. It's like trying to get a Glastonbury ticket or something. Waiting until 9am for the estate agent to open so you can call them and he's going, no, I've already got 50 viewings booked in.
My friends recently, obviously this is a very unique circumstance, they've secured a flat and I think the deposit that they paid, it was 15 grand because it was 6 months rent up front.
What?
But one of them is in the very unique position of he is like a very wealthy startup founder. That's lunacy, isn't it? But imagine being the letting agent or the landlord in good faith saying, you want this really shit 3-bed? You better stump up 15 big ones.
My landlord put it up to from 1,800 was my rent in Tottenham, and they were like the very nice letting agent was like, oh, the landlord's going to put the rent up. I was like, okay, must be probably about 10%. Came back with 2,400.
Oh my gosh.
Nearly blew my face off. I couldn't believe it. What the? I mean, 2,400. Yeah. For 2 people to rent a flat that in Tottenham, that is ridiculous.
The UK's homelessness minister has come under fire after she tricked tenants from leaving a property that she owned by saying she was selling it, only to then relist it for £700 more expensive rent than it was before. Although she tried to justify the increase, saying that she thought my role as homelessness minister was about making as many people as possible homeless, not about ending homelessness. My bad, I guess. This screw-up means that the Labour minister is now facing calls to resign, but definitely won't quit over this, otherwise that'll mean the 100 other MPs that are landlords as well will start to have to face consequences for their terrible landlord practices as well. The UK's homelessness minister role has always been assumed to be about bringing the end of homelessness in the UK. However, this latest revelation by the current homelessness minister has been raising questions about other ministers and whether they're misinterpreting their role as well. As Foreign Secretary David Lammy seems more keen about helping the foreign country of Israel than he does Britain. Minister for Intergovernmental Relations Pat McFadden is fostering a culture of working together by sleeping with younger aides from different departments, and the Secretary of State for Science, Innovation and Technology Peter Kyle blocking access to technology in the name of innovation. People are beginning to wonder whether the government is any good at their jobs at all. Rushanari Ali has apologised for her actions and, as a gesture of goodwill, has reduced the amount of increased rent she will be charging from £700 down to £690.
This family has just been given a £450 rent increase by their landlord. Now, I'm going to show you what to do if this happens to you as a tenant, and if you're a landlord and you must increase your rent but your tenant can't afford it, what you can do about it. In this instance, the tenants were given 2 rent increases, one for £250 per month, and then the final one which led to £450 per month. If you find yourself in this scenario, there is help for you from the council. You see, there is little known funds known as the homelessness prevention funds, which are designed to help families and landlords navigate these specific scenarios. And here's how it works. If you're a tenant and your landlord has given you a rent increase you can't afford, you can make a what's known as a at risk of homelessness application. Once you've made your application, you'll then be given an assessment of the council. After your assessment, you'll then be given an opportunity to negotiate with your council. And it's during this negotiation stage that you can actually get a one-time shortfall payment to cover the cost of your rent increase. It works the same way if you're a landlord. All you have to do is guide your tenant to make an at risk of homelessness application with their council. They'll then be given an appointment by their council. And then finally, following that appointment, you then be given an opportunity to negotiate with the council that one-time shortfall payment to cover the cost of that rent increase. Guys, trust me, these funds are extremely useful. We've been able to raise over £500,000 in grant funding to help families in situations such as these. My name is Denzel. I'm the CEO of Social Housing Options. So if you've got any comments or questions about how these funds work and you want to access them, drop me a comment or leave me a DM.
This is an absolute clown show. Landlords are now being offered money to house migrants for 5-year contracts. The Home Office has launched a new initiative for private landlords to house channel migrants. Serco, which are the private contractor working with the Home Office on this. Now, of course, the funding for it will come from, well, you guessed it, us, the taxpayers. As an accidental landlord myself, and I only own one home, by the way, I rent this out because I don't fancy living where it is. I'm a tenant in my current house, so I get to look at this nonsense from both sides. And even I, as a landlord, am tempted. So, as a struggling landlord, because there is literally no profit in the private rental sector, after successive governments have withdrawn pretty much every incentive, imagine being offered a higher rent, which I suspect will be the case as it has been thus far. Imagine being offered what will inevitably be a guaranteed rent over 5 years, with the promise that the place will be left in good order on its return. And unlike in the case of the Renters Reform Bill, which went through the committee stage this week, you as a landlord, by the sound of it, won't be saddled with the tenants forever unless you want to sell. And if you do plan to sell and usurp your tenants, then if the sale falls through and you won't find yourself having to fund an empty property for 12 months, because those will be the new rules when the new Renters Reform Bill becomes an act later this year. The exodus of private landlords will be put on hold for the next 5 years at least, whilst they take advantage of the scheme on offer. As a landlord, this proposition, well, it's music to my ears. Why wouldn't I, or any other landlord, not just kick out their current tenants whilst they still can, and then use and take one of these asylum contracts? The problem here is that not only does this have the ability to raise the cost of renting, but it means that those currently in private rented accommodation could end up on the streets. And as we know, whilst the benefit system can be very generous if you play it right, there's a queue for homes and British people are at the back of it and pay for the privilege to be there. So, alongside smashing the gangs, Labour promised to empty the migrant hotels, gaslighting you and I into believing that this meant that there would be fewer migrants. Instead, it is clear that what they actually meant by reducing the use of hotels, which hasn't happened either because the number has gone up, what they actually meant was that they would perform more of a shuffling of the deck chairs exercise, taking homes away from British people who've lived, worked and paid tax here in favour of illegal migrants. You couldn't make it up. Landlords will apparently be invited to an event in a 4-star hotel next month, and they've even launched a website with the heading, Calling All Landlords. The government would argue that it is 10 times cheaper housing migrants privately, but that's just looking at the straightforward cost, not the cost to the British people or our way of life.
Enforcement officers have arrived at dawn to look inside. What they find is shocking. There are 26 beds.
How many people live in this room, sir? 1, 2, 3 bunk beds, 6 sleeping spaces.
Another 4 more in this tiny room.
You pay £65, £65 per week each.
But there was even more to come. Outside, inspectors found a shack, and inside, 2 more beds, and a woman living here who wasn't happy with the conditions.
She cannot stand the mice and the rats scurrying around it.
Back at that Wembley house with 26 beds, Bagharad told us he lives here because his job as a carer for the elderly pays so little.
I'm paid £30 per day.
Maish works as a casual builder and earns £60 to £80 a day, but says even living here his life is better than back home in India.
This country is money. Our country is no money.
Hi Jackson, it's Josie. I'm just calling with regards to this email that I've just got through about the rent increase. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, it's quite a big increase.
Oh, it's not that much. It's not that much.
Well, yeah, it's £100 that it's gone up by. So I'm just a bit shocked as to why it's gone up. We have just renewed the contract and said a set price that we were happy to move forward with, and now you're springing this like increase on me. So you're raising the cost for what reason?
Well, I've recently had a baby. My wife's just had a baby, and the money's got to come from somewhere, you know. I've got to afford maintenance on your place. Like, how many times have you called me out, like, for plumbing and stuff? And every time I've sent a man there in days and I've got it fixed. That's because I'm a good landlord. It's
absolutely ridiculous. Jackson, I shouldn't have to deal with the price increase because you're having a baby.
Well, it's really nothing. What is that, 25 quid a week? Can you not make 25 quid a week? Are you that lazy? Do you not work? Listen, you can have all the problems with it that you want, but at the end of the day, you signed in the contract, so you're in here or you're not. You either pay the rent that I'm asking, or I'll give you a week to get rid of your stuff, and that's me being nice, because I wouldn't usually give people a week. I'd usually give them 24 hours. You've got 2 choices. You either pay the 100 quid or you don't, and you leave.
Advice is needed because I am at my fucking wit's end. My council, I've had to just take a step back today. So, I'm going to give you a little rundown of my housing situation. I've lived in my flat for 3 years now, and when I first moved in here, it was fine. The mould that is in my property is just not normal. It's not normal. Winter is just a game over. Like, it's so bad. So, yesterday, my bath was blocked, right? It started with the bath being blocked. Called out the out of hours, they didn't come till 2 a.m, couldn't do it, had to get a drain surgeon out this morning. Drain surgeon's come, taken the whole bath out. There's a slow leak. The slow leak looks like it's been going on for a while, which is really weird because I've had the council out previously for the blocked bath, and they just plunge it down and move on. Botched like per usual, as we know. Not saying all, but most. And then I have my housing officer and a building guy come round today because I had to take it to stage 1 because they wasn't replying to my emails. And why should I live in shit? Why should I have my personal belongings ruined because you do not know how to maintain your property? I'm sorry, that's as black and white as it's going to be. So they've come out today and they've obviously investigated what's gone on. Now, every single room has mould except from two of the bedrooms. And it's just not acceptable. Why should I have to, like, I've decorated my flat lovely. Why should I every so often have to go and bleach everything and, you know, put my time into that when this should be my safe space? Not only that, it's ruined the back of my sofa because the mould's got on there. My white blinds in my front room that are not cheap, I have to renew. And then I find out that my bath has been leaking. How long for? They don't know. But my bath has been blocked on previous occasions and people have been out to see it and it's obviously been missed. So now this has ruined all my flooring in my hallway. So I said to the council, are you going to renew all this like for like? Because I don't want your council stuff down. Why should I have to pay and, you know, renew everything if it's your property? And basically, I am now on a fight with the council because I'm telling you something now. I'm not having this. The council is a joke. And what I will do, I will withdraw my rent because it's not safe And why should I have to keep taking money out of my pocket to renew my own property? Okay, I don't own the property, but I rent it. I look after it. I'm a good resident. So why the fuck shouldn't the council maintain it? Now, the problem is outer the building, the drainage, the stacks, all of that stuff, and it's coming into my flat and I'm getting the consequences. So we're going to see, they're doing a full report and it is going to be like a building site in my property, which is really concerning because I've got 2 disabled children and my son has got severe asthma. So they are basically saying that everything needs to come back to like the woodwork, the brickwork, and it needs to be built up. How the hell am I meant to live in a property with 4 children, a dog that's just had spinal surgery while this happens? Can someone give me some advice of what the hell I should do? Because I'm not joking you. I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling angry, and I'm feeling seriously pissed off. So yeah, please, can you write in the comments what you think I should do on the next step? Because I don't have a clue.
You've not even told me that you're putting the house up. I've just paid this month's rent.
Is it okay to
Is it okay?
Anyway?
So you're asking now? You're asking me now after you've tried walking in, even though you've not told me?
It's my property.
That's fine. I'm not contesting that, love. I'm not contesting that. What I'm saying is, you can't just turn up here unannounced. Nah, you can't. I know my rights. You can't just like turn up. You've not even told me that you're putting the house up. I've just paid this month's rent.
I realise that you're a good payer.
Yeah, you do.
But I've still got to show this couple today.
Your options, right? Your options are twofold.
I have.
You either turn around and leave, or you force your way in, and I'll call the f***ing police.
Don't worry about this.
Oh, I would worry. I would worry just a little bit because I'm sorry. She didn't tell me that she was putting this house up, guys. I understand this isn't your fault. You know how everybody hates landlords. It's for stuff like this.
I'm quite a supportive landlord.
You are when you're not barging your way into my house at 9 a.m. Sorry, guys. Thanks for coming. I'm sure you'll find the home of your dreams, but it's not this one.
Hi, it's Kobe from Endgame Estates. I got to view a house this week, which was a 3-bed, 1-bath with tenants living in it. And I have to say, I would never use the toilet in it. I wouldn't even use the bathroom to wash my hands. It wasn't the fact it was disgusting, it was the fact it was falling apart. There was no plaster on the walls in the bathroom, literally none at all. I wish I was joking, I wish it's just a bad joke, but there was no plaster on the walls at all. And apparently it's been like that for 4 years. I spoke to the landlord on the phone, he said, yeah, I just can't get a contractor, just none want to do the works. Okay, I get it's hard getting contractors, I get that, especially good contractors, but it's not that hard. 4 years with no plaster on the wall. Literally, you're sat in the bath, there's bricks there. Go on the toilet, bricks. You could have clad it, for goodness sake. There's a million things you could have done. Go around the rest of the house. The rest of the house is okay condition. Needs some bits and bobs. But it's just like, how can you let a bathroom be like that? It's just disgusting. This guy, no question, is a dodgy landlord. And it's a shame because you've got some lovely tenants in there. They've been in there a good number of years, paying rent, yes, massively below market value rent, because they're putting up with the issues.
The shower broke, stopped working, started leaking into the kitchen, and my landlord refused to fix it. And 11 months went by, and we kept checking in, being like, it's getting bad, there's mould now in the kitchen. Because we were raising the issue, he decided to up our rent by a third. And then after that we were like, okay, well that's fine, if you want to fix it then we were happy to carry on, but we really like you to fix the shower because it's become quite a problem. During the energy crisis, when you're running like baths to have a wash, you know, I was washing in 3 inches of water because I just couldn't afford to like do any more. Yeah, so the week after we got the notice that our rent was going to be put up, he sent us an eviction notice. so we were evicted over Christmas.
I hate having Indian neighbors. You know why? Because every time I bring out the garbage and pass their flats, it smells so nice. So today I knocked because it was so good. I asked them, what are you cooking? And they gave me a bit. Wait, let me show you. Okay, please have a look at this.
Criminals. And that's what they are. They're allowed to rake in thousands while people live in third world conditions right here in Britain. It's an absolute scandal, and it's high time something was done about it properly. Shameful. Absolutely shameful.